Okay, so where do we even start?
To really get the divines, you got to go back, way back, to the very beginning, how Tamrielic folks understand creation itself.
Right. Pretty much every religion there, whether it's human or elven, starts with this core idea, a fundamental dualism.
Anu and his other, stasis and change, light and chaos, sometimes called padome or saktis.
Is and is not, order and void. And from these two primordial forces mixing together, that's where the Aedra came from, the original spirits.
And how people see those spirits depends on who you are, right? Humans tend to call them gods and demons.
While the Aldmer, the elves, they see them as Aedra and Daedra, which means ancestors. It's a very different philosophical starting point.
That initial dualism, that mixing, it sets the stage for everything. Because the Aedra came from that mingled blood, Anu and Padme.
It means they've got this inherent capacity for both good and evil, creation and destruction, order, chaos. It's all in there.
And that's a crucial difference from the Daedra, isn't it? Who mostly came from Padme alone.
Exactly. The Daedra often embody these really intense singular concepts. Destruction, secrets, plots, that kind of thing. The Aedra are inherently messier, more complex.
It means they're tied into the paradoxes of existence itself. Growth and decay, peace and war.
Right. It suggests creation itself wasn't some pure act, but born from this fundamental tension.
It's like a primordial stew, you said.
Yeah, exactly. A cosmic stew where the ingredients brought forth these spirits with built-in complexity. And that's why their influence on Mundus, on the mortal world, is so rich and varied.
And why dealing with them is rarely straightforward for mortals. They contain multitudes.
Just like mortals do, in a way.
So that complexity leads us right into how Mundus, the mortal world, actually got made. And this huge sacrifice by the Aedra.
It starts, according to the lore, with Akatosh, the dragon god of time. His formation was kind of the first big step.
He emerged from that mingled blood.
Right. In his existence, this structuring of time into a linear path made it easier for other spirits to form, to take shape. He basically laid the groundwork for reality as mortals know it.
And then came the sacrifice.
The big one, yeah. This idea is central to so many Tamrielic creation stories. The Aedra gave up parts of themselves, their power, their essence.
Create Mundus, Nirn, the world.
Exactly. They poured themselves into it. And in doing so, they became bound to it. They became what's known as the Earthbones.
So what does that mean for people living there on Nirn?
It means the world itself is them in a fundamental way. The ground, the mountains, the rivers, the very laws of nature. That's their sacrificed essence.
Wow. So the solidity of the world is literally divine sacrifice.
Pretty much. Their being is the fabric of the mortal plane. And that act, that huge giving up of power, is what really separates them from the Daedra.
Who mostly stayed in oblivion, right? Kept their power intact.
Largely, yes. The Aedra expended theirs to make the world. It makes you wonder, how much of their original unbound power was used up.
And how does that limit them now, if their essence is the world?
That's a great question. Their influence is everywhere, obviously, but maybe less direct, more foundational. It could explain why mortals can call on them for blessings that affect the natural world.
Because they are the natural world.
In essence, yeah.
Okay, so speaking of structure, let's talk about the 9 versus the 8 divines. That's a big deal, especially in Cyrodiil.
Huge deal. The standard Imperial pantheon, the one most people might know from games like Oblivion or Skyrim, traditionally had 8 divines.
Akatosh, Dibella, Mara, Kynareth, Yulianos, Zinithar, Stendarr, Arche.
Right. But then later, Tiber's septum achieved godhood, became Talos, and he was added, making 9.
And that was controversial, to say the least. We'll definitely get into Talos later.
Well, for sure. But that shift from 8 to 9 marks a massive historical and religious change, but even beyond the numbers.
There are patterns, right? Archetypes.
Exactly. Almost every pantheon in Tamriel, no matter the specific names they use, has 2 core archetypes showing up again and again.
The dragon god.
Akatosh, or Ariel for the elves, Alkosh for the Khajiit.
Yeah.
Even Alduin, depending on how you interpret it, the embodiment of time, usually.
And the missing god.
Lorkhan. Or Shor to the Nords, Shazar and Cyrodiil, Sept for the Red Guards. The one who tricked or convinced the others to create the mortal world and paid a heavy price.
The fact that these 2 figures pop up everywhere under different names, it suggests something deeper, doesn't it?
It really does. Like
Yeah.
an underlying cosmic structure that all these cultures are tapping into, even if they describe it differently, it hints at universal principles.
So for you listening, understanding these archetypes is key. Akatosh or Ariel, Lorkhan or Shor. Different names, different stories, but often pointing to the same core cosmic forces.
It helps you see the connections, even when the surface details seem wildly different.
Right. Let's dive into the big one then, Akatosh, the dragon god of time, chief deity first among equals.
Absolutely central. He's in almost every Tamrielic religion. Ariel, Bormahut, the dragons themselves, Akatosh.
He's seen as the first god to really form, right? In the beginning place. Some even say he created the beginning place.
Which is a massive claim for a god of time. His avatar is almost always a golden dragon. That imagery is key. Endurance, invincibility, everlasting legitimacy.
Those are his core tenets, especially in the Empire. Duty, service, obedience, all tied to him.
And he's the father of all dragons.
Yeah.
From the wise Parthenax to the destructive Elduin, that whole spectrum.
He is time in a linear sense. The cosmic clockmaker, the great river flowing through reality.
Which leads us into syncretism, how different cultures see him. Let's start with the generally accepted aspects. Auriel, Akatosh, the One.
It's interesting how easily the High Elves seem to accept that Ariel is Akatosh, just their cultural version. Same for the Bosmer, the Wood Elves.
Yeah, there's a general acceptance there among the Merce, and even the Alessian Order, who were fiercely monotheistic.
They worship the One.
Right. And they saw Akatosh as the core of the One, because time is linear, singular. They even tried to purify him of elven taint. Shows how central he was to their whole belief system.
And then there's Alkosh, the Khajiiti version.
The Dragon King of Cats, depicted as this radiant cat dragon weaving time's tapestry. And get this, Alkosh can supposedly see across all the many paths of fate.
Whoa! Multiple timelines. Possibilities.
Seems like it. A layer of complexity the other versions don't quite have. It really makes you wonder, how much does culture shape the god?
Is Akatosh different through Khajiiti eyes versus Elven eyes?
It's like that diamond analogy you mentioned earlier. Akatosh is the diamond, Ariel, Akatosh, the One. They're different facets, same core, different reflections based on who's
Okay, so those are the more harmonious views, the facets of the diamond. But now we get into the really controversial stuff, the World Eater aspects.
Right. This is where the theology gets really messy, even violent. Alduin is the prime example.
The World Eater. He called himself Akatosh's firstborn, ruled early Nords with an iron fist.
But the Nords later completely rejected him as their chief god. They saw him as separate, as evil, distinct from the good, benevolent Akatosh they came to worship alongside the 8 divines.
So when the Imperials tried to say, oh, Alduin is just the Nordic Akatosh, that didn't go over well.
Not at all. A brutal misunderstanding, the lore calls it. For Nords, Alduin is the Endbringer. Akatosh is perseverance. Even other dragons, like Parthenax, said Alduin improperly claimed the lordship of Akatosh.
It shows a deep theological split, and the trauma of the Dragon War really baked that into Nordic culture. Can a god be both creator and ultimate destroyer? The Nords essentially said no.
And it's not just Alduin. The Khajiit have Alkan, their world-eater dragon, born from Akka and demons, representing the end of cycles. The Red Guards have Sadakal, who eats the world over and over.
Even the Argonians have Adakota, tied to beginnings and endings.
So that world-eater archetype is clearly universal. But its relationship to the time dragon varies massively. Are they two sides of the same coin? Or totally separate beings operating under similar cosmic rules?
The lore seems to show different cultures landing on very different answers there, often reflecting their own views on cycles of destruction and renewal.
Definitely.
Let's talk about Akatosh's direct actions in history. He's not just a concept, he intervenes. Big time.
Absolutely. The covenant with Alessia is fundamental, mystically joining his bloodline with hers and her heirs.
And the Amulet of Kings was the symbol, the key, maintaining that barrier between Mundus and Oblivion.
Protecting the mortal world from Daedric invasion. And when that barrier failed,
the Oblivion Crisis,
Akatosh stepped in. Through Martin's septum, the last heir, Martin sacrificed the amulet, summoned Akatosh's spirit.
And transformed into that giant, fiery golden dragon avatar.
Exactly. Defeated Mehrunes Dagon, restored the barrier. That avatar became a permanent statue in the ruins of the Temple of the One, a constant reminder.
Some sources even say Martin mantled Akatosh in that moment, achieved godhood himself by becoming the god.
It's a profound idea. Mantling is rare, mysterious. Becoming the deity by perfectly embodying their role. Walking in their shoes until you are the footsteps. It's a mind-bending concept.
That image, though, Martin as the dragon, so powerful, tangible proof of Akatosh's power.
And then you have the opposite. The dragon breaks.
Yeah.
When time itself seems to, well, break.
Like the warp in the West. Linear time fractures, realities overlap, history gets rewritten.
It's thought to be Akatosh losing control, or maybe him breaking momentarily. The Khajiit myths say it's Alkosh being torn apart and then put back together. Different cultural lens, same cosmic chaos.
A vulnerability in the god of time himself. Wow.
He also created the liminal barriers, using the sublime brazier, his first light, establishing that separation between Nirn and oblivion in the first place.
And there's that allied text, the 9 coruscations, describing his insanity as all that is and could be.
Yeah, like linear time being layered onto infinite possibility, a chaotic creative force. And older Nidic myths say he set the stars in their courses, appointed the guardian constellations.
So not just a timekeeper, but a cosmic architect too, ordering the heavens.
Seems that way.
Okay, worship. People have worshipped Akatosh forever, basically. His tenets: endurance, invincibility, everlasting legitimacy.
Very imperial values, right?
Yeah.
Followers are expected to embody those, stick to the law, maintain order.
And those 5 commandments. Obey your emperor, study the covenants, do your duty, heed the saints and priests.
And crucially, worship the 8, not just Akatosh.
Right. That shows he's not a jealous god. He's a head of a pantheon, expects reverence for the whole group, reinforces that unified divine order.
But there's still that duality. His followers clashing with Alduin's followers for centuries.
Light versus dark, beginning versus end, symbolized by those twin orbs of fire, gold, and crimson.
It's an acceptance of the tension within existence itself.
Worship practices get pretty specific, too. Golden scales on the skin, blessed paladin armor, golden ear cuffs, living armor golems imbued with his flame.
Yeah, appearing untouched by time, a direct manifestation of his enduring power, and that right of Akatosh.
Where elders challenge an avatar of Akatosh to gain youth or peace. That sounds intense.
Very direct. Take some serious faith, challenging your god like that, and they see eclipses as losing his favor sometimes.
Some followers get marked with a golden serpentine eye that sees what is true.
Prophetic insight, maybe clear judgment. And those with the soul of the dragon can actually transform into forms of flame and golden scales. A deep connection.
And the cuirass of the Crusader is linked to him. Or maybe Mara. Shows some overlap there.
Yeah, the artifacts often have complex histories.
Okay, let's shift gears. From the grand sweep of time with Akatosh to something maybe more intimate, but just as vital. Love, fertility, compassion, Mara.
Mother Mara, the divine mother, goddess of love, fertility, agriculture, compassion. She's almost universal across Tamriel.
Except for the Dunmer and Argonians, mostly, though the Kuthringi did worship her.
Right. Her role as mother goddess is key. It's not just romantic love, but creation, nurturing, the land itself. The female principle of creation, Nir, is linked to her.
She's the nurturing hand, the warmth, the force that sustains life after the big, chaotic creation.
Her clergy say she literally gave birth to creation and pledged to watch over mortals like her children.
The Khajiit call her the mother cat, daughter of Anur and Fadomai, source of their gentleness.
And like the other Aedra, she sacrificed part of herself for Mundus, poured her essence in to make it fertile, livable.
What's really interesting is her relationships with other gods. It shows how central she is.
Totally. Wife of Akatosh, or Oriel, for Bretons and Elves uniting time and love.
But a handmaiden of Kyn and concubine of Shorlorcan, for the Nords more earthly, passionate.
Some even say she deified Arche, the god of birth and death, linking her to the whole cycle.
And she can facilitate afterlife reunions, even for different races.
Yeah, that really shows her universal compassion, transcending mortal beliefs. It's amazing how one divine can have such different family ties across cultures, but her core essence of love stays put.
Her teachings reflect that too. Live soberly and peacefully, honor your parents, preserve the peace and security of home and family.
It's all about harmony, bonds, tranquility. Love nourishes life, she teaches. Not just romance, but as a foundation for society.
And she's the patron of marriage, right? Unions performed at her shrines everywhere.
Crucially, with no restrictions. All genders, all races can unite their souls in her name. Very inclusive.
Her priests are known for being intolerant of intolerance.
Yeah, actively promoting understanding speaks volumes. And white cats are sacred to her, often found in her temples. Symbols of purity, domestic peace.
The regional variations are great. In Hammerfell, she's Morfwa, with 4 arms.
To grab more husbands. A fantastic, very direct cultural take on fertility and family.
And in Skyrim, she's the mother wolf, associated with ice wolves.
Right, reflecting the harsh but loving nature of the North. Lots of practical marriages happen at her temple in Riften.
While Dunmer and Argonians mostly have their own gods, the Kithringi included her in that trinity. Dibamakin shows her influence could spread.
Her artifacts include the Chalice of Mara, supposedly a wedding gift to Alessia, and magical clothes, Mara's blouse and skirt, giving vitality, plus links to some Crusaders' relics again.
Okay, let's look up. To the heavens, the winds, the sea, Kynareth.
Goddess of the heavens, winds, elements, unseen spirits of the air, patron of sailors, travelers. Her domain is active, constantly moving, vital.
She impacts everything, from weather for harvests to the winds guiding ships. People pray to her for good fortune, auspicious stars. She's like the breath of the world.
Mythologically, she was key in creation too. First to agree to Lorkhan's plan, providing the actual space for Mundus.
And rain supposedly appeared only after Lorkhan's spark was removed, tying her to life cycle's beginning.
Some even see Spriggans, those nature spirits, as her creations, guardians of the wild.
And in Nordic myth, she's Kyn, huge figure there.
Wife of Shor, head of the pantheon when he's gone. Warrior spirit, mother's heart. The throat of the world is her sacred mountain.
Where she breathed life into mankind, and her tears formed the first rivers.
Exactly. And she gave humans the Thummim, the voice, so they could fight the dragons. A massive gift.
She's also mother of the demigod Moorhouse, the winged bull, and maybe tipped off Alessia about Pelennor Whitestrake coming, involved in human liberation.
That image of her breathing life into humans.
Yeah.
Powerful origin story.
Her other cultural forms are just as cool. Kynareth for the Khajiit.
God of winds, gatherer of waters, gave the first sounds, taught them to speak, guides souls to the afterlife via the lunar lattice, and like Akatosh, can see across the many paths of fate.
That multi-timeline awareness again. Fascinating.
And Tava for the Red Guards, the bird god, lady of the air, led the Yokadans across the sea to Hammerfell after their homeland sank. Still vital for sailors. And she's the kin in that Kithringi Dimarakin trinity.
It's amazing how her core functions, air, nature, life, get translated. Warrior goddess, soul guide, bird god, always fitting the culture.
Shows how fundamental her domain is.
Worship-wise, it's interesting that craftsmen pray to Stendarr and Kynareth, need the materials in the good weather.
Makes sense. And you can offer Cana feathers at her shrines to temporarily turn into a bird.
Yeah, fly free. Very direct experience of her power.
And remarkably, no big chapels in Cyrodiil cities for her, unlike the others.
Because building over nature might displease her?
That's the belief. So her altars are out in the wild, carved into trees, on mountaintops. That preference for wilderness over stone perfectly shows her connection to nature.
In Skyrim, they tend the Gildergreen in Whiterun, a cutting from the ancient Eldergleam tree. Bettany Island is holy for Bretons.
Even some Reachmen adopted her, though the Forsworn's intentions at her shrines are murky. Still that wildness associated with her. The Dreadhorn clan used kind magic, weaponizing storms.
Her artifacts include the boots of the Crusader. They don't just protect from forest creatures, they let you cross a void of doubt.
Symbolizing faith, right? Navigating challenges. And needed to get Zenithar's mace. Shows divine interdependence.
Then there's the Lord's Mail. Armor of Moorhouse, gift of Kynareth, grants regeneration, resistances.
And Kynareth apparently took it from Moorhouse because he got arrogant. She values humility, even in demigods.
And the Ring of the Wind in Elsewhere. Makes you super nimble, like the wind itself.
All very fitting for her sphere.
Okay, from the wild elements, let's turn to beauty, art, affection. Dibella, the lady.
Goddess of beauty, love, affection, art, music. One of the original divines from that mingled blood.
She represents the aesthetic, the emotional side of things. Suggests beauty and love are fundamental cosmic forces, not just mortal feelings.
Akatosh held her form, apparently. She also sacrificed for Mundus, though some, like the Mythic Dawn cultists, saw her as a false god, an illusion hiding Mundus's flaws.
Her teachings are about seeking truth through beauty, giving yourself to love, focusing on quality, not quantity.
Right. That lovely line, no matter the seed, if the shoot is nurtured with love, will not the flower be beautiful? Emphasizes love's transformative power.
And she dislikes undeath. Like Arche, sees vampires as a perversion.
Seems so. Aligns with Arche on the sanctity of life and death cycles.
What's unique is her Sibyl, right? How she communicates her will.
Through a chosen person, revealed via the secret exalted protocol. Often a child, who then lives entirely with the priesthood, trained as the divine vessel.
A child Sibyl that really emphasizes a unique, personal, almost mysterious connection, purity, devotion from a young age.
Her worship gets pretty personal, too. She pays men in moans, as one source puts it. Critics find it overly lustful sometimes.
But her cults focus on women, artists, aesthetics, even erotic construction leading to a mark of Dibella, enhanced charm or beauty.
Yeah, and worshippers wear porcelain doll masks for anonymous affection rituals. Uninhibited expression without identity. Her temples usually have 3 or 4 sacred white cats.
The regional stuff is wild. In
Yeah.
Cyrodiil, nearly a dozen cults. The Anvil Chapel priests practice nude dancing in the streets.
As a mourning ritual, celebrating the human form, freedom of expression, caused some controversy, naturally.
In Hammerfell, she's popular with Redguard women, protected by the Knightly Order of the Lily. In Skyrim, she's a hearth god, symbolizing domestic beauty, sometimes Shore's bedwife. Her Markarth temple is highly respected, often with Reach women's sibyls.
Shows her deep roots, even in unexpected places.
Her artifacts are amazing. The brush of true paint, bristles from her hair, lets you enter paintings and manifest things by imagination.
Blurring art and reality, a testament to her power over creation and inspiration. And the helm of the Crusader was hers too, made for Pelennor. Beauty, arming, justice.
Okay, let's get logical. Julianos, god of wisdom, logic, magic.
Patron of scholars, mages, law. His planet marks the eye of the Mage constellation, a beacon for knowledge seekers.
His sphere is crucial for civilization, learning, values intellect, reason. Makes sense he's linked to logic, even named after the logical Julian Lefay from development lore.
His origin is smoother syncretism. Alessia fused the Nordic Junal, the owl totem of wisdom.
With elven ideas to create Julianos, less controversial than some others, maybe because wisdom and magic are so widely valued.
Seems likely. And his temples are often literal schools of Julianos, especially around the Iliac Bay. Direct benefit to society, education, magic study, law.
Some Reachmen adopted him too, practical benefits. His way shrines grant boosts to intelligence and magicka, tangible rewards for seeking knowledge.
And he created the Shield of the Crusader for Pelennor, again, tied into those key divine interventions.
And get this, his monastic orders are keepers of the Elder Scrolls.
The ultimate texts of prophecy and mystery. They dedicate lives to deciphering them. It cements Julianos as the patron of deep knowledge, hidden truths, even prophecy itself. Huge responsibility.
Now for the practical side. Work, commerce, community.
Yeah.
Zenithar.
The provider of our ease, god of work and commerce, governs wealth, labor, communication, community, often seen as the Bosmeria's end too.
He represents honest industry, but how does a god of work fit in a world full of war?
He's called a restrained warrior god. He advocates peace and prosperity through earnest work and honest profit, not through bloodshed or theft. His priests actively teach this, vital for stable societies.
His symbol is the anvil. Labor, production. Worshippers keep mini anvils, pewter-scale weights for luck and fairness.
They offer burnt crops at shrines, giving thanks for harvests, connects urban trade and rural farming. They use special prayer beads for luck and deals.
Strong ties to Cyrodiil High Rock. Tolerated in Hammerfell due to links with the Yokodon farm god. Popular with merchants, artisans, farmers, anyone earning an honest living. Fosters trust, fair dealing.
And his planet's relationship with Mars is interesting. They orbit each other in a cosmic dance. He's said to be most in touch with the mortal world.
Maybe because his domain is daily effort, and that orbital dance. Could it mean industry? Zenithar provides the foundation for love and family Mara to flourish.
It's a compelling idea. Prosperity enabling well-being, both essential.
His artifacts are practical too. The golden anvil, just a normal anvil blessed into gold, a holy relic for smiths.
The Mace of the Crusader, also called Mace of Zenithar, made for Pelennor, burns foes, turns undead, but needs Kynareth's boots to retrieve across that void of doubt. Again, interdependence.
Zenithar's bless it all for weavers, ensuring designs work, threads hold. That's specific.
Shows his attention to detail and craftsmanship. And Zenithar's warning in wiles, gloves that reduce aggression and improve disposition, negotiation over violence in business, all about constructive power.
Okay, now for the big one, the unique one. Talos, Tiber Septim, the mortal who became a god.
His story is just immense. Prophecies, brutal war, politics, and finally apotheosis that literally changed the pantheon.
The prophecies alone are wild. Vivek's twin-headed ruling king and red jewel of conquest.
Widely thought to be Tiber and his battle mage Zur in Arctis, forming that enantiomorph oversoul, two becoming one divine entity. Very complex metaphysics.
Tutor Aparius saw a tall man stabbing a serpent, signaling the end of chaos. Even Jiggelag, Prince of Order, predicted his rise through Haskell.
And the broader dragonborn prophecies, the Greybeards foretelling a warrior youth coming south to unite Tamriel, destiny was practically screaming his name.
But his early life, two completely different stories, right? Orthodoxy versus heresy.
Starkly different. The official imperial story. Born Talos and Atmora, learned Thuum in Skyrim, conquered Ulf Roldan at 20. Greybeards hailed him Izmir, Dragon of the North, sent him south, gave him magic cloud-riding boots, joined King Kulakain, won a Sancretor, got the Amulet of Kings. A great storm heralded his arrival in the imperial city. Pure destiny.
Then the heresy, born Shalti Earlybeard in High Rock, not Atmora. And Izmir Kingmaker, the Underking, maybe the resurrected Wolfhearth, was the real power, the storm of Kine, helping Shalti win at Old Roldan.
And this version says Shalti murdered Kulakain, blamed assassins, and took the name Tiber Septim, a ruthless opportunist.
So, which is true? Is it imperial propaganda or historical revisionism?
That's the million septim question. The fact the Greybeards did concern him as Izmir suggests real divine power, regardless of birthplace. But the heresy paints him as a killer, the orthodoxy as a hero. That duality is his legacy. Even today, Alcair celebrates his birthday, despite the official Atmran story, local belief versus imperial narrative.
After Kulakain's death, he's crowned emperor by Zurn Arctis, dons the Amulet of Kings, confirming his dragonborn status, then begins the Tiber War. Decades of conquest.
Brutal and strategic. Skyrim joined him after seeing his Thuum at Sancretor. They saw him as the son of Skyrim.
High Rock got it much worse. Executions, enslavement, imperial law imposed.
Hammerfell was complex. Civil war. Tiber sided with forebears, cornered the crowns at Stros Makai, won with Admiral Richten and a dragon.
Nephali Largus, his dragon vassal, a paid mercenary red dragon in the imperial legions. Incredible.
But a later Redguard uprising led by Cyrus and Azara, using the soul sword containing Prince Itor's soul, forced Tiber into a better treaty for Hammerfell. Shows his power wasn't absolute.
Elsewhere suffered badly. The siege of Central was apparently so brutal it was wiped from official records. Rebellion continued. Black Marsh was never fully conquered, swamps too dangerous.
But Morrowind, that was the pivotal one. The tribunal's power was fading because of Dagoth's error. Tiber needed their ebony.
Leading to the armistice, Morrowind gets near total autonomy, keeps its traditions, gods. Unprecedented. In return, provincial status and Numidium.
The brass golem, a reality-bending superweapon. Tiber also cut a deal with the Morag Tong assassins. Pragmatic.
Then Valenwood and Somerset, the Aldmeri Dominion. Valenwood's Thalmor crushed, Somerset resisted fiercely.
Until Tiber unleashed Numidium outside Riven, powered by the mantella that disputed Soul Gem, maybe Arcus's heart, Wolfhearth's soul, maybe Tiber's own. Alinor fell in an hour. Tamriel unified by overwhelming reality-breaking force.
So, conqueror or unifier? Unleashing Numidium, that's terrifying. The fall of Alinor in an hour, it really makes you question the cost of that unity.
It's the core ambiguity. He brought peace, the Golden Age, but built it on ashes and fear. The Morrowind Armistice shows pragmatism, not just brute force. But yeah, Numidium is a dark stain. History and godhood forged in paradox. His subordinates were key too. Zurn Arctis, Izmir Wolfhearth, maybe Richten, Patrid, Simicus, Nepheli Largus. A powerful team.
After the wars, he used Numidium again to crush neutral families.
Secured his power base. Enthroned loyalists. This period also saw the Underking, Zurn Arctis, destroy Numidium in vengeance, but get destroyed himself, becoming that powerful undead spirit.
Tiber declared the Third Era, Year Zero. The continent even got called the Arena because the war was so bitter.
And then that incredible claim, reshaping Cyrodiil's jungles into temperate forests just by breathing in royalty.
That's godlike power before he became a god. What does that say about dragonborn potential? Reshaping a continent with his breath? Wow.
It hints at a profound connection to the land, an ability to manifest will on a vast scale, more than just politics or war.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing his divinity.
His nearly 40-year reign became the Golden Age. Peace, justice, rebuilt with ebony and tolls. His story gets tangled with Queen Berenziah, too. Returned to imperial care, maybe even a terminated pregnancy between them. Complex personal life.
And near the end, that corruption at Sancretor, the Underking cursing his blades into undeath, lingering darkness from the conquest.
Then his death, at 108, or maybe from those Sancretor wounds. And ascension.
Believed to have ascended straight to Aetherius, the 8 became 9. He took his place at the right hand of Akatosh. Ultimate validation.
Some say he used the walking ways, secret paths to godhood.
Esoteric, profound stuff. Extreme will, enlightenment, fundamentally changing one's being. And it reigned for 2 weeks after he died, the land itself mourning.
His divine actions after death are just as crucial, appearing as wolf to the Nerevarine in Morrowind.
Subtle. An old veteran giving advice, a blessed coin, hinting his age of empire was passing, the Nerevarine's time was coming.
And the Oblivion Crisis, retrieving his armor, still stained with his blood, from Sancretor.
Providing the blood of a divine needed to open the portal to Camoran's paradise. That act proved his godhood to everyone. Tangible, vital proof.
And then helping the hero of Kvatch, as the new Pelennor, completely destroy Umeral the Unfeathered.
Not just physically, but spiritually. Talos' blessing allowed the hero to erase Umeral's very soul from existence, shows incredible divine power, severing a being from the cosmos.
His legacy and worship, constantly fought over. The Imperial Church sees him as ninth divine, patron of rulers, war, society.
Orders of Talos, the Talos cult, promote his ideals. Knights of the Nine get his blessing.
But the Nords, they see him as Ysmir, Dragon of the North, because he withstood the Greybeard's voices. Some thought he was a literal dragon in human form, Skyrim personified.
Right, often held in even higher regard than by Imperials. This caused tension, especially the belief that Talos, not just Akatosh, helped Martin in the Oblivion Crisis.
And then the White Gold Concordat, banning Talos worship after the war with the Aldmeri Dominion.
A huge catalyst, led to Thalmor persecution, who saw Talos worship as blasphemy, human arrogance, directly sparked the Stormcloak Rebellion in Skyrim.
Ulfric Stormcloak claiming his Thuum was a gift from Talos, making it a holy war for religious freedom.
It shows how faith and politics are inseparable in Tamriel. Talos' interventions prove his active divinity, but his legacy keeps shaping history, causing conflict centuries later. And the Greybeards hailing the last Dragonborn as Ysmir in 4E201 continues that powerful lineage.
The artifacts tied to him are incredible too. Amulet of Kings, obviously.
His own armor, crucial in the Oblivion Crisis, guarded by his cursed blades. Chilling.
Boots of the Apostle, granting levitation from the Greybeards. Shalti's sword, used to grant rest to a ghost from his past. Poignant.
Horn of Summoning, traded for the Staff of Chaos, shows his power plays. And the Mantella, powering Numidium, controlled by the totem of Tiber Septim, whose reappearance caused the warp in the west, fracturing reality itself.
Wow, what a journey through these figures. Akatosh, Mara, Kynareth, Dibella, Julianos, Zenithar, and Talos. Their myths, their power, woven into Tamriel's very soul.
We've seen how fluid the divine is there, how cultures adapt, interpret, sometimes clash over the same cosmic forces.
Which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Do the gods shape mortal beliefs? Or do mortal beliefs over time actually shape the gods themselves? Think about Alduin versus Akatosh, or the whole Talos controversy.
Is divinity fixed, or is it a dialogue between the mortal and the immortal? A question with no easy answer in Tamriel.
So what stands out to you about these incredibly powerful beings? How might your own culture interpret these archetypes? The time dragon, the mother goddess, the god of work, the mortal made divine?
The world of Tamriel is vast. The lore deepens with every look. There's always more to explore.
Definitely always inviting another deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us on this one. Until next time, keep exploring.